Hey guys, we just did the PvE exotic weapon tier list. We're going to do the PvP list now. Now the PvP list is a little more black and white than the PvE list. Things are either really good or really not worth using at all. There's not as much flexibility compared to the PvE list in my opinion. The PvP rankings are also under normal circumstances, so that's regular Crucible, not Iron Banner, and there's nothing else affecting the weapons like Weapons of Light or something. We're going to start with the S tier weapons, the absolute best of the best. And in that tier, and there's a lot, we have Hawkmoon, Yallarhorn, Suros, Plan C, Truth, Vex Mythoclast, Thorn, and Last Word. I really didn't want to put this many weapons into the S tier, and I'm sure arguments can be made for placing some weapons lower in the list, but I didn't think there were enough reasons for me to justify dropping anything into the lower tiers for the sole reason that I didn't want to have so many S tier weapons. Hawkmoon is absolutely a top tier weapon, blasting incredibly high impact rounds, two-shotting enemies quite often with great reload speeds and good stability. Yallarhorn has tracking, and the Wolfpack rounds it has will ensure a target's demise should they manage to survive the blast. Suros, without a doubt, is the best auto rifle in the game, barely any recoil, super high powered, comes with health regen, the bonuses are also amazing. There's nothing not to like about Suros, and the weapon speaks for itself. Plan C is also another fantastic PvP weapon because it can be upgraded for fast charge times, and because the Plan C bonus is so strong, being able to annihilate any target within range at will. Not only that, but its stability can be bumped incredibly high, giving you more accuracy from a distance. I will say that I feel like most players either adore this weapon or think it's super overvalued. I'm on the side that loves this weapon, so depending on what you like, some people might put this in the A tier, others in the S tier. Truth is the PvP rocket launcher. Everything about it is meant to destroy enemy players. Super intense tracking and pre-detonation is everything that you want in a PvP rocket launcher. Vex Mythoclast has almost returned to its former glory, not nearly as powerful as it once was, but is still very much enough of a threat to give it an S tier rating. Mythoclast's strength is in its close to medium range combat, and given that a lot of the maps are on the smaller side, it really shines bright. Although it does fall off at longer ranges, which is the only reason I considered placing it in the A+ tier. It is definitely outmatched by Suros at farther ranges. Still, I absolutely think it does enough to belong in the S tier. The Last Word is one of the fastest killing weapons in the game, and I think it gets to be in the S tier on that merit alone. It is one of the best, if not the best, 1v1 weapon in the game. Thorn got enough with its buff to raise it into the S tier of weapons. It's always been a two-shot kill on most targets, that hasn't changed from what I remember, but the thing that really held it back was its low ammo and slow as hell reload. Getting more ammo really gave it the boost it needed to be thrust into the limelight. So now we'll move to the A tier of weapons, which consists of Patience and Time, Thunderlord, MIDA multi-tool, and Invective. Patience and Time is a great sniper all around, its bonuses are super good, and I did give this weapon a very good score in my review. So why isn't it S tier? In the reviews that I do, I try and only score the weapon on its own merits and nothing else. In the tier list, we're comparing it to other exotics and some other weapons in general. And the fact of the matter is that every sniper in the game under normal circumstances is a 2 body shot kill or a 1 headshot kill. Meaning if you wanted to play with a sniper and another exotic, you could replace Patience and Time with any sniper rifle, maybe something like Praedyth's Revenge, which is still a fantastic PvP sniper rifle. Thunderlord yet again falls under the same issue that it does in PvE. Very good overall, but not enough to launch it into the S tier, super undervalued, but because other stuff is just more useful at certain situations. Not to mention it is somewhat replaceable by literally any other heavy machine gun for PvP purposes, since heavy machine guns kill so quickly regardless of the one that you're using. MIDA multi-tool I think just sneaks into the A tier thanks to its ability to kill in 4 headshots, and its ability to be fired very rapidly. Invective I've rarely seen outside of the I'm a blinking hunter or warlock, all I do is blink into the air, burn all my shots, kill you, and then die immediately after situation. That being said, it's still a very good shotgun, and its reload speed buff was huge. Is it replaceable by Found Verdict? Absolutely, which is why it's only in the A tier. In the B+ tier, we have stuff like Red Death, Icebreaker, and Pocket Infinity. Red Death is just kinda there. It does its job well, it has great bonuses for PvP, but it doesn't do anything to stand out amongst its peers. It's not bad, but it's really not that seen that much unless it's the only thing that person has. Icebreaker I have ranked lower than higher because I think Praetor's Revenge is a better sniper. What do you want in a sniper rifle for PvP? High rate of fire, low recoil. Icebreaker is literally the opposite of that, and if it weren't for its ammo regeneration, I'd probably be putting it in the B tier, and I almost did. Pocket Infinity's main issue is that it takes forever to get a shot off. The full auto component is a bit overkill in my opinion, and while it is definitely more useful than it is a gimmick, it'll burn your ammo very quickly. It takes more skill to use Pocket Infinity over the other fusion rifles, almost requiring pre-fire around corners, but I don't think there's really any benefit in using Pocket Infinity over anything else with a faster rate of fire. However, I realize that many people will consider Pocket Infinity to be an A tier weapon, and that is fine. I definitely have some personal bias in regards to this weapon. In the B tier, we have Monte Carlo, Hard Light, Dragon's Breath, Bad Juju, and I think Universal Remote sneaks in here as well. The dynamic auto rifle duo of Monte Carlo and Hard Light got some buffs which helped them out, but I don't think it was enough to really move them anywhere. Monte Carlo has some benefits with its bonus if you're a Warlock or a Hunter running a full strength build. You can really be spamming those flame shields, throwing knives, and blink strikes a lot with low cooldowns, and I think arguments could be made for Monte Carlo to be put into the B+ tier for certain subclasses. Otherwise, there's just not anything special about these weapons at all. Bad Juju's buff at least made it usable in PvP, but if you wanted to argue that it should be lower on the list, I wouldn't fight it, but I don't think it belongs any higher than a B. Dragon's Breath I think has been a disappointment overall, and in PvP, its slow velocity is its downfall, plus the lack of tracking doesn't help either. With Truth and Yalorhorn being as good as they are, there's no reason to use this at all unless it's the only thing that you have. Universal Remote I've been starting to see pop up a little bit more in PvP, and even though it didn't really get any buffs, I think more people are starting to get used to it and starting to see its potential. However, I wouldn't value this weapon as anything more than a fun, you just got killed by Universal Remote, haha kind of weapon. Moving to the below B tier list, we have Super Good Advice, The Fourth Horseman, and No Land Beyond. Super Good Advice, we all know the problems, although it is slightly easier to use now, but not worth using over anything else in the heavy slot, legendary weapons included. The Fourth Horseman is outclassed dramatically by Found Verdict and Invective, and I'd even say stuff like the Comedian, a weapon you can't even get anymore, and Two to the Morgue. If its bonus was still, this weapon fires all 4 barrels at once, then you might have something there, especially given the other bonuses on the weapon. But changing it to full auto makes this thing just crappy, with terrible range, impact, and reload. No Land Beyond is similar to Universal Remote as far as the reasons that you'd use it, but at least Universal Remote has the utility of being a shotgun. No Land Beyond doesn't have that. It has a horribly slow rate of fire, iron sights that make you feel like you're on a boat in the ocean whenever you're moving, and the only reason you'd use No Land Beyond is for a gimmick. Anyway guys, that is your exotic PvP tier list for the Dark Below patch 1.1. Should there be a massive overhaul of the weapons, this and the PvE tier list will be updated. As for any potential buffs or nerfs coming to any weapon, I'd say don't be surprised if Yalorhorn is nerfed. The Wolfpack rounds are way too strong right now, and I suspect they will be getting the nerf bat soon. The Fourth Horseman, maybe Super Good Advice, Hard Light, Monte Carlo, Dragon's Breath, No Land Beyond, all definitely could use some love as well. Even Red Death I think could use a little bit more love. If you're looking for a more community-focused tier list, I've linked the Reddit exotic tier list in the description, which inspired me to start writing this video over the past month, which doesn't deviate too much from my rankings. That's going to do it for me though. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.